expecting you to say great. Great NCS. Great NCS Lagos chapter. So please, we want to start. Shall we pray? Our Father and our Lord, we thank you for a time like this. Please, let's honor our God. If you are not a Muslim, please, can we remove our cap? Let's pray. Our Father and our Lord, we thank you for a time like this. We thank you for the opportunity given to every one of us that you count us among the living. We are in your presence now. We are not in mortuary, we are in your sanctuary. May you take control in the mighty name of Jesus. We commit today's program into your able hands. Lord, Father, there is no any knowledge that is lost. What we are here for today to do, let it come to reality in your presence in the mighty name of Jesus. We are here in peace. By the time we be going back, we go back to our different houses in peace in the mighty name of Jesus. We pray everybody that we travel down, we commit the road accident free in the mighty name of Jesus. And this our noble society, NCS, shall continue to move forward in the mighty name of Jesus. Lagos chapter will continue to move forward in the mighty name of Jesus. We commit the executive into your hands, Lord, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to take this NCS to the next chapter, next level. Lord, we bestow it upon them in the mighty name of Jesus. We declare this meeting open in the mighty name of Jesus. In Jesus' mighty name, we all pray together. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Pabembegbe. We are about to start now, and we are going to start with an open address from Lagos State Chairman of NCS. His name is Mr. Oladi Pupo, and his FNCS is going to give us a welcome address. I also want to use this opportunity to call Mr. Rex Abitogun, FNCS. He's a lead consultant, Management Edge Limited, and he's coming from Abuja. Mr. Rex, please. We also want to call Mrs. Ilebiyi Sulamat, also FNCS. He is the head internal control, FSDH Merchant Bank. So as we go ahead, as we proceed, we're going to introduce other people that will be coming. But as for now, I want to hand over the mic to the chairman to give us his welcome address.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nicholas Enyika. Mr. Enyika is a FNCS too, because as you are seeing also on the side table, all of us here are FNCS. What is here? Because it is the last cadre of our profession. So if you are a member here today, you have to be aspiring to be there. It's a lot of things over there. Hello. Thank you very much. Well, without much wasting of our time, the protocol, I think it has been established. But I'm glad now that we are here this morning after the prayer had been said. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with honor and high understanding of happiness and responsibility, that I welcome you all to this year's Stakeholders Forum of the Nigerian Computer Society, Lagos State Chapter, holding today, 25th May 2023, at the Training Center of Lagos State Local Government Service Commission, the Training Center. I want to specifically appreciate our leaders and professional colleagues, among whom I have actually said fellows. Not only the fellows that are our professional colleagues or senior colleagues, there are a lot of our senior colleagues there that they don't even look. I'm going to be a fellow or what have you. So if I am saying our senior colleagues, it's not really attached to the fellow. Some people are even member right before I became a member, but it just feel I'm not ready now to be fellow. So thank you very much. Now, I here with us say a big thank you all. The theme for today's Stakeholders Forum is on toward developing a sustainable grassroots governance in a roadmap, information technology in local government of Lagos State. That is the theme. The theme is carefully chosen. If you look at that theme, because it's just unfortunate that the people that we are actually going to address this, we will continue with what we have there. If you look at it, do we have any? Hello? Okay. So if we look at the theme very well, I know all of us have that theme. I suppose to have even first appreciate the commissioner, even the governor, from governor to the commissioner, and to even all who actually make you, our member, to be head of your unit in Lagos State today. Because it's actually been a thing that you actually been a part of under a budget department over time. And you can now see now that you are the head of unit. But when I heard about head of unit, I was even asking, what is unit? What is department? If department is bigger than unit, why don't you give us department instead of unit? That means unit, you are still under some other department in the local government. That's the way I just understand it. That is one reason why we said we have to set the roadmap. So you can, anybody, even your home, if you say you are not going to embrace computer, that means you are nowhere to be found. So if you are actually being the brain behind of what is going on, what is happening in the industry, even in the country, in the region that we belong to, then we should give in a right set of mind. So the unit of what have you, we just have to appreciate them first. At least, when you have a child that is crawling, it has to start from crawling to a particular level. So we actually appreciate them for giving us the head of unit. Then from there, we'll move on. But we really appreciate them. I'm still going to appreciate them when they come around, because I actually discussed with Commissioner, Honorable Commissioner Pokuola Akim Farm, and he said he's going to come because he's actually the one that pushed to this, that make sure that it will happen today, because he said by the time we are doing it next week, he will no more be the commissioner. He will have been former commissioner. That's why we now push it to today. Then definitely I know they are coming. Even this same thing with Honorable Afini. Afini is House Chairman Committee on ICT. He said he is coming too, and we started around 1 a.m. this morning. So likewise, the chairman, the commission, I met with him when he came to Imota, and he said yes, he has seen our letter that they are coming. One thing that I just found between us and you, private and public, when you tell a private person to come to a particular place by 10, I'm telling you, by 9:30, the person will have been somewhere, waiting for that time to move in. But when you tell a public servant, sorry, permit me, I don't know whether it is right now. When you say 10 o'clock, that 10 might be 2 o'clock. I don't know why it's still happening there. But now, you are an IT people here. You should not be working with that time. For instance, if you have a server as back end on at your various local government, you are the one that will make sure that the thing is on. You can't tell them that, no, it is 10 o'clock I'm coming, you have to have him there. So please, don't go with them. Let them see you as an example. That is the part of roadmap we are talking about. Let them see you that, yes, we are doing something now. So thank you very much. Now, that is the topic we are trying to deal with. And I'm glad that we have our people here that will do justice to that. So just feel free. If you know you cannot have something, you can actually write something where I will do, because we have rapporteur here that will document all what we are doing there, that will now push it to them. Then we'll make sure we'll forward and we'll monitor it. Then again, you know, if you're not get chairman too, it's a level of ICT. And when he saw this one, he said, yes, he's in for it. We are expecting them. I just hope by the time they will all start coming in, it will not be that time that we are saying we are ending the program, because that is one of the things. Now, in the event, the event will be chaired by Honorable Afini, Chairman House Committee on ICT, and moderated by Dr. Akim Fan. Like Dr. Akim, now is just being conferred with the commissioner. He just told us that he has just been confirmed as a doctor. So he's now a doctor. Now, and doctor of information technology for it, that matter. So he is to moderate it. And it's also our member, is FNCS. The same thing with Deputy Governor. Deputy Governor is a proud member. Anytime you have any deal with him, make sure you have something that has to do with NCS or what have you to go. Definitely you know that, yes, this is my member. So he's also a fellow of the society. So we are glad that we have them. So this is the time is now. Now that the commissioner is going, but Afini is still there, but Deputy Governor is still there. Anything that we know you want that we still get, we can use them as a point of contact and a reference to get what we want. So that is that one. Now, and the discussion are as follows. Mrs. S.A. Ilebi, as we are saying there, is small but mighty. When you are hearing FCCA, what is the meaning of that number? Fellow Chartered.
Fellow of Association of Chartered Accountants in UK.
Can you imagine? She's small but mighty. So whatever you are having is there. And we have Mr. Ayodeji Rest Abitogun, also a FNCS. He's flying through this morning from Abuja because of this thing. So, Mr. Rest, you are welcome, sir. So, also do some things here to open our mind. You know, when we're talking about professionalism, adherence to ICT policy are also crucial. Professionalism, we are all professional as we are sitting down here. So it should be seen in us. The way we behave, the way we react. I was discussing with one of our members this morning. When they posted you to your various units in the local government as the head of ICT unit, what happened if your chairman say, go and call me the ICT, head of ICT, Madam or Oga, I'm having issue with my program, with my phone. Can you please help me address it? Someone sent something to me and I want to print. Can you help me print? The chairman is giving you iPhone 20 and you are using Android, and you have not you don't even know Android 1, not to talk of Android 20. How are you going to address that one? So what you should do in this sense is this. As a developer, I'm also a developer. I develop applications, but not all the languages that I must know, but I must know all the languages. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Not all of the languages I must practice to know, but I must know all of them. So if you are writing C#, for instance, that does not stop you knowing what is Phoebe doing, what is PHP is doing. So if they are not asking you, what are you and what are you, I'm good in C#. But in PHP, yes, this is what PHP is doing, this is what it's doing, and this is why I take with this one. So don't say, PHP, what are they calling PHP again? If someone is asking you, IT professional, what is PHP, and saying, is that a name of a person or a name of that you can see? So what I'm trying to say in nutshell is this. What is going on around you as in relate to ICT, you must just benchmark and say, oh, that's what they are doing there. Okay, just read a little bit. It could be literature about that application that you read about. Don't say it doesn't concern me now. In your local government, do you have an IGR application that they use to run the IGR? Because they look at you as another thing that if we ask these people to come and be working now, they will be seeing what we are doing. Then you too, you should say you are less concerned. No. You just give them a small rapport. Know what they are doing. Know the application they develop with it. Because if there is an issue, by the time they will call your chairman will say, go and call ICT. Now, ICT, what is happening there? I don't know. I don't know what they are doing. The man will look at you and say, you don't know anything. You should know what is actually happening around you. Yeah. Thank you very much. While I'm discussing this one, we have the acting PS working in person of Mrs. Adegun. Thank you very much, ma. You're welcome, ma. So the government also create regulations for ICT-related activities carried out by local government. This we are talking about. Listen, you won't imagine. I'm not working in local government, but I am closer to local government. I was just in the dismay when I saw a document. They want to go and do photocopy of a document. They went to some people that are doing it outside. No wonder you see information flying out. Why should that be? When, in fact, last year when we did an award, we gave Yaba LCDA an award because if you see that LCDA, that is the exact prototype that a standard ICT is supposed to have in local government. So if you are not having that one, luckily now we have Madam here. Because what we're talking about, I can't imagine myself. I say I want to make a photocopy. I will go and do it outside. Not this is just one sheet. What about the document? You will take it outside, and at the end of the day, you will see information flying around, and that's what is really happening. So that is why we are saying we have to meet and discuss and move forward. So thank you very much, ma'am, for your coming on. Now, the public officials who are disciplined in the event of mismanagement, according to policy that favor local content, any information obtained by the council or given to one half of the council should be kept by the council and then share with the organization or agency that require it. For instance, they gave us information now to process. And if you look at your local government, who's supposed to be in charge of your website? ICT. But currently, information. Well, information, because they are information, that's why they get into it. But when you talk about managing the website, they cannot manage it. But the content aspect of the website is supposed to come from them. The content is supposed to come from them. This is not by, it's what we... have them, but we are not seeing value in what you created. That is not sound enough. We too have to look at the way we work. If it need be to read, you read. If it need be to get to us to assist in some things, we are there. So now, the council use of e-services should be constantly monitored for outside data information theft. Any leak in such e-services will only be discovered by an IT expert who is a professional in the IT field. But let me just stop here, so that I don't look at, we ask our people to come and discuss.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We also want to, although she has been welcomed by the chairman, but officially I want to welcome the PAMSEC establishment representative, represented by Mrs. T. Adegun. She is Director, Admin and Finance, Local Government Establishment and Training. Madam, you're welcome. I also want to welcome Mr. Ahmed Tijani, President, Body of Computer Cadre in Unified Local Government in Lagos State. Tijani. Also want to welcome Mr. Doyin Talabi, FNCS. He is a data processing consultant with TYMS Limited. You're welcome, sir. I also want to recognize the presence of Mr. Tunde Ogunremi. He's a fellow FNCS. Okay. So with all this said, I want to hand over the mic to Mrs. Adegun to give us a goodwill message.
Good morning, all. I believe protocols would have been established. I will crave your indulgence to stand on the established protocols. My name is Oluwatosin Adegun, Director, Admin and Human Resources, Local Government Establishment and Training Office. I am standing in for Mrs. Bibilomo Olushekun, the Permanent Secretary, Local Government Establishments and Training Office. She is unavoidably absent, and she sends her very warm regards to you. And I have been asked to just say a few words on her behalf. The ICT unit has been established in the local government. As of today, we have ICT units in the different local governments. We have been going on tour of the 57 local governments. And every time we go on tour, our chairman, Local Government Service Commission, always asks for the ICT personnel. The reason he does this is he likes to find out if the ICT is well placed in the local government. So he calls the ICT person out, finds out if he or she has an office that is well equipped. Where we have not gotten the proper answers, he goes back to speak with the chairman of the local government, the council manager, and the treasurer. The reason we are doing this is Fegunyon ICT Kere. Ademokwetaba Gonkere, it will be to our own detriment. The world is fast changing. ICT, whether we like it or not, is now and the future. So anybody who is not willing to go on that train is going to be woefully left behind. However, we will like your society. I'm glad that the president of the ICT body in the local government is certain. He is a very hard pusher for ICT. Right before this particular program, he's been there with he's been to the PS with his executive, and I happen to have been on that in on that meeting, and we had a lengthy discussion. Please bear in mind that the ICT in the local government is just starting. With anything that you've just started, there will be teething problems. However, these teething problems are going to be decisively dealt with by the time you reconvene again for another program, be it later this year, be it next year. Be rest assured that the president will be giving you a beautiful feedback on ICT development in the local government. As we speak, before you become a permanent secretary in the state government, you will have to go through a CBT, computer-based test. Alufeshi CBT, tí ó bá ní basic knowledge of ICT. That's the first leg. There are 3 legs. The second leg, you will be required to draw up a program, present your program in slides. Ni ibe gongon. You will also be required to do PowerPoint presentation. That's the second leg of the exam, Kuto the permanent secretary. The third leg, after you've done that and you have passed, is a chat one-on-one with Mr. Governor. Ode ma test ICT knowledge. So Sherry pé kò síbi tá fẹ́ sá sí. Nítorí ẹ̀, we can't afford láti gúnyan ICT kiri. The institute will also be enjoined to please work hand in hand with the ICT units, and whatever guidelines you need to give them, give to them, they'll pass it on to us. So I will not be able to say more than this, but I would like to say that you should please have a very fruitful deliberation, and that we're also interested in whatever MOUs you come to. We're interested so that we can cascade to the local government system. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you very much, man. I also want to recognize the presence of Mr. Tokumbo Smith, FNCS. He's also here. Also, we want to recognize Mr. Olashe.
Mr. Smith, Mr. Tokumbo Smith, ẹ wá sápamọ́ ni. Baba data privacy lẹ ń wò yẹn. Data privacy. He's a guru in data privacy, and he's worked well with us here at our end too. I just needed to call him out. And Lesa.
You're welcome, sir. Just like he said, he is a lead consultant also for data protection. I said that we have Mr. Olasheni Ido. He is also the director of ICT, local government establishment and training. Mr. Ido. Also, I want us to, okay, Mr. Ido, please come to the high table. Also, we have online our members that are online who are also participating in this event, and I want to call them out. So we have Mrs. Veronica, Pastor Mrs. Veronica Owolabi, FNCS. We have Mr. Abimbola Olayinka, FNCS also. We have Mrs. Dele Bayo Oshibo, Nawit President. She's also online. We have Mrs. Omojola, the Vice Chairman of NCS Lagos. And we have Engineer Flora Odumaki, who's also a member of the ESCO. So that done, we need to go to the next item on the agenda, which is an overview of the current state of ICT in the local government. So I want to call on Mr. Tijani to take up this presentation. Mr. Tijani.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Nicholas Yanika. So I would also want to stand the existing protocol, Mr. Chairman, and also my senior colleague here, Mr. Rex Abitogun, and Madam Ilebi. You're all welcome to Lagos. You're all welcome to Local Government Service of Lagos State. Yeah, briefly, to have to waste time there. What I'm about to do is just to establish the discussion, starting from how we started and how we got to where we are. And I would like to start from the NCS Lagos itself, because I'm bold to say that all of this started from the NCS Lagos. Prior to 2018, there have been ICT staff within the local government of the state. But in 2018, a lot of us were employed. I joined the service in 2018. So we were much. We could go around every local government. But then not all of us were not every local government has ICT staff. But there was a challenge that had been on ground even before the 2018. And the challenge was basically how the profession itself, IT, was placed at the local government across the country, not just Lagos. But you know, as who we are at NCS Lagos, I'm not sure of how Abuja is. But NCS Lagos, we see challenges and we take it up. So we started having discussions even prior to 2018, when some of our colleagues at the local government would meet at conferences. Because I've met Madam Kuti even before I joined the service. I've met Mr. Dairo even before the service. And we're having discussion about the local government. So fortunately for me, I was also employed into the service. And if I could remember, the first time I saw Mr. Dairo after my employment was Otieda, or not if I joined. So we go on by so one hour for jewelry. So Kinumba was so the IT profession, ICT officers in the local government were under the budget department. And that wasn't just a case of Lagos. That is the standard, even as it is now. But Lagos, as it is now, is exceptional. Now we have ICT units in local government. We started from somewhere. So in 2019, at the NCS Lagos conference, a few of us, we met with the Honorable Commissioner, who I believe will still join us. This same Honorable Commissioner, Mr. Akim Pham. And that was when we started the discussion, where we pushed to him, sir, why shouldn't we have vice units in the local government? And from there we started. Fast forward, 2020, COVID-19 came. Even at Alausa, the state government, that I'm so sure of, that I was aware of, when the whole world was talking about work from home, indeed, they work from home at Alausa. But what happened at the local government level? Work from home couldn't have been possible if there was no one to initiate it, even at the management level. And that was the problem. That was a gateway to solving the problem of ICT or IT profession in the local government. And through that little opening, we pushed in. We, the ICT officers in local government, we came together and we formed the body. The body today, the body of computer cadres in the unified local government of Lagos State. With a primary agenda. And the primary agenda is that we should have a body where we can share ideas, communicate, and develop professionally and career-wise. And the secondary issue we had on was how can we actualize having a unit or a department of ours? Because really, IT globally now is a recognized profession. It's a technical profession, one that affects virtually every other professions. So indeed, IT should have been a department in the local government. But then what we did was to be smart enough. Who we have now as the Deputy Governor of the state, Dr. Kadri Amzat, back then when he was the Commissioner of the same state, Commissioner Science and Technology, there was a circular that talked about the creation of ICT unit in every MDA of the state. I think that was back then as 2018 or thereabout. So we saw that document, and that was what we used to push for the creation of this unit. So the idea of we pushing for the unit was because of the document that we saw. But truly, from the point of view of the professionals, just as the chairman has rightly said, IT within a government establishment should have its own department. But then, we as public servants, we've done our bit. It is left to the professional to push their profession. Because we are here representing the profession. They are there to stand and advocate for the profession. And that's why we have our big brother here, Mr. Rex Abitogun. And for the record, Mr. Rex Abitogun is a member of the NCS National Executive Council and a former chairman of NCS Abuja. So he is an authority. So we started this in 2020. And in 2021, there was a document from from Mr. Governor, the governor of the state, where he ensured that definitely there's a need to have ICT units in local government and that it has been established. But it was in 2022, last year, that eventually it became activated. Activated in the sense that it was then that we were all posted to various local governments, to serve in the newly created unit, the ICT unit. So there I was posted to Yaba OCDA, and I was made the head of the unit in Yaba OCDA. So, and some of my colleagues who cut across the whole 57 local governments and local council development areas. Now we have ICT unit heads who are member of the management. And the essence of being a member of the management was to, at every point in time, whenever there's any issue being discussed, ours is to look through the issue from the angle of computing, digital. How can we make a huge problem seamless when taking it up? So, and as our director has said before she left, we are at the teething stage, we believe so. But then we need to set the record. We need to start from now because this is Lagos. For the record, Lagos State is the first state to have ICT units created in every local government. And I believe Lagos should be the first to have ICT departments in every local government. But that's the job for our profession to push. We have done our bit. But from our hand, what we've done so far, after the creation of the unit and the posting has been done, we came back to our commission and requested for a job role. At least there's a new unit now. There should be an official document that will state black and white what are the roles and responsibilities of this unit. And in 6 months, we got that. No, it was 6 months after the posting, but barely 2 weeks after we had the discussion. Barely 2 weeks. I give kudos to the DMPS who made that happen. So now we have our roles and responsibilities. What is left again is for our professional body to look through what the government has established as our roles and responsibilities and ensure that those roles are actually given to us to do. And also to look at this document and look at how can this establishment, this professional body also come in and play their own part. Because IT is a very wide thing. There's always a role to play, by everyone. So one of the reasons why we've dragged the NCS Lagos to an event like this is for them to also see how they can come in, what they need to do. It's not just about what the government needs to do. To a large extent, the government have done something very fantastic. Now we have the ICT units. And we thank Mr. Governor for that. At our own level at the BCOG, there's one thing we've decided to take up. Data. 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 It is said that data is the new oil. What does that really mean? The new oil. That's how powerful data is. But then, this idea of data being the new oil can only be understood by those who are in the profession. They are the ones that will understand how powerful data is and how important it is to a developing nation like ours, Nigeria. So if the actual crude oil would take techniques and gadgets to drill and even refine before it could be used, either as petrol, kerosene, aviation fuel, and all of that, then what do you think about data, the new oil? Because prior to the establishment of this unit, we could say the local government has data, do make use of data, do collect data, but how do they manage it? What really do they know about it? So this new oil also needs techniques and acts on technicians or professionals who will also do justice and make positive use of this data. So what I'm saying in essence is that we believe data is local. Every data comes from a particular place, and these places are within a local jurisdiction, meaning a local government. If today Nigeria as a country cannot really, come out to say this is the number of Nigerians, we believe it's because the roots of it, which are the local government, have been neglected for a while. And for us to get this, we need data and technology to run this. So we are pushing this to our profession, our professional body. How can we look into this issue? Because we believe this is one of the things we need to start talking about, to have a roadmap for the ICT unit, or for the ICT in local government. The roadmap in the sense that at the end of the day, what should be the key responsibilities of this newly created unit? And I believe the discussion we have today will do justice to that. And one other thing again I also want to say is that from our end again, we believe there should be a center coordination of all the local governments regarding ICT. Because basically ICT is all about resource sharing and resource management. Whatever I have, you can have it as well, and we'll benefit from it. But we need that center that will coordinate us. And we also need regulation. In this, the CPN comes in. So we also want to appeal to the NCS to find a way to also help us get in touch with the CPN to come link with the local government system, starting from Lagos, where we have the ICT unit, and then to the other local governments in the country. So I'd like to round up by appreciating the NCS Lagos chairman for thinking about us at the local government level and bringing up this event for us, and also invited senior colleagues who are traveled from far places to attend this event. And I believe at the end of the day, we will have something meaningful to go on with. Thank you.
Please, we can do better. It's your president. Please, let's appreciate him. Thank you very much. The next thing on our agenda, we are moving to number 7. I want the house to know right now, online, we have 35 people that are following us online. I would like to invite the man of the day, the man that will tell us about our data and how our data is being secure. I would like to call Mr. Tokumbo doing. Please, let's clap for him. When you see Mr. Doyin Talabi, you see Tokumbo Smith.
Something. Good morning, all. So you are all welcome. So I'm here to just give you a gist about data privacy and the local government. I have a 20-slide presentation, but I'll just try to summarize it. But we are saying that I want to automate our local government operations. Definitely it's very important to know about data privacy and the local government. No, why? Is it on? No, Kori. Can you see it? It has worked before now. Put it on, tell me now. Nothing is showing. Remove the cable and put it back. Remove the cable and put it back. It has worked before. I won't waste your time. Well, it doesn't show. In computing, the most important thing is backup. If you understand that. So I have it on my phone. If it doesn't work there, just like it's good that we have a visual display. I'll try and start. Very tough, but we'll start. We have agreed that there's another person, but he's not connected. He's not connected. Yeah, I said have a 20-slide presentation, and I want to start from where the TJ stopped by talking about that data is the new oil. But actually, I have a statistics here that says that 8 out of the most capitalized companies in the world right now, as at yesterday, 8 out of them are IT-related companies. So you have Apple with $1.3 trillion, Microsoft, Saudi Aramco is the only one there in the oil industry. Then you have Alphabet, the Google parent company. Then you have Amazon. Then you have NVIDIA, they do semiconductors. Then you have Berkshire conglomerates. Then you have Meta Platforms. Meta Platforms, there's Facebook, your Instagram. And then you have Tesla as number 9. And then you have Visa as number 10. So in the entire world, 8 out of the 10 most capitalized companies are in IT-related businesses. That alone can tell you how serious the matter is. And if you look at yourself as a private person, how much megabyte you generate per day on your phone. And it has been estimated by research that about 2.5, we call it quintizillion bytes. 2 raised to, just put 18 zeros behind 2. That's what we generate every single day in this world. And also very interesting, out of 7.7 billion people in this world, 4.7 billion people have access to the internet. So we are living in a connected society. So even by the time you automate your operations, you're just going to join that connection. If you remember, we talk about the World Wide Web, like a spider. So you have people connecting to the web from different platforms, from devices, from different locations. So if you are generating such data, they now try to remember that we talk about e-commerce now. We have a lot of the likes of Jumia, Amazon. If you imagine how much generate every day, how will you manage such data if you don't have a system that is helping you? That's why we use data. In fact, in your office, if there's no light in the morning, is there any work you can do actually? In terms of percentage, how much percentage of work you have that you can do? So it means that we're all dependent on data for our daily lives, both even communication, even entertainment. I'm sure you can imagine that everything you're watching on your phone or your TV, YouTube, everything is through the internet. In fact, some of us have said that the internet is a super highway that everybody passes through every single day. Every single day. There's no day you don't use your phone. So all of us, we generate data, we pass through the internet. And that's why we are saying data privacy is very important in everything you do. It's not connected. It's not connected. Can they change the cable? Can you change the cable? Change your HDMI cable. That's what you should do. So that's why. I'm saying that. So data privacy is talking about how data should be collected, how you should use it, how you should store it, how you should exchange it. So, but we are saying that at every stage of the data life cycle, as we call it, you create it, you use it, you store it, you distribute it. You should ensure that there are controls, that only authorized people have access to the data. In fact, we talk about IT security principle. We mean on 3 things. We call it CIA. If you have our CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I'm sure I've heard about it. Have you heard about it, please? So if you don't remember anything I said today, remember confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Although we can add 3 other more. We can add accounting, run reputation, and authentication to make it 6 as professionals. But basically, is that I talk about CIA. Confidential means people have access to data on a need-to-know basis. So we can be in the same office, we don't have access to the same information. Integrity means only authorized people can change it. Availability means there should be no downtime. When we need it, it should be available. Downtime, you know that even banks, downtime has gone down, unlike before in those days, because the technology they are using has improved. So the same thing, when we are clamoring for IT in local government, we have to be ready to make sure it's available when they need it. Because if you have it and say there is downtime, the value is lost. The value of the IT is lost. And what I imagine is that if you want to be relevant in the Lagos state system, your systems will be available and in real time. Not it should be in real time. So I was saying, so it's about so we talk about data privacy, we talk about data protection. The data privacy is about the laws, the procedures, the policies you put in place to protect the data. But data protection are the technical controls you put in place. Password management, for example, that you put in place to ensure that it works. So that's why we say in this data protection profession, there are 2 parts of it. You have the technical and you have the legal. Because the legal are the people that will set the policies and the procedures. We are fortunate that we are working with Lagos State, and we have now about 13 MDAs already, and a lot of policies have been established even for the Lagos State government, which I'm sure they will pass down to the local governments. So we have data privacy, talking about policies, procedures, but data protection, which is where you come in. And we have seen that in terms of percentage, it may actually be like 70-30. That 70 will be technical, 30 will be procedural. But as a practitioner of it, you must know the 2 sides. I hope you are following me. So we talk about data protection and data privacy. And in data privacy, we talk about personal data and sensitive personal data. What's the personal data? Your name, your address, your IP address, your GIS, your phone, now you can track your location. Yeah, so it's part of also your personal data. But we also talk about sensitive personal data. Sensitive, that's the keyword, sensitive personal data. For example, HIV history, HIV status is sensitive. HR can have access to it, but they're supposed to keep it confidential. So the same thing I'm sure you know, as an IT person, so many things will pass through your office. You can say ha, but that's all you can say. So you see certain things that's ha, but that's the only thing you can say. Ha, but you have to swallow it. Ha. I was at the writing in some banks, I will force them to explain it to me. What is this about? Otherwise, we won't post it. I want to know what's going on. But you just ha, and then you swallow it. So you have a lot of things. So we are saying that in your official capacities, you may have access to data and information that is highly confidential, but you must keep it so. That's what data privacy is about. That yes, you may have access to it, but you have to keep it confidential. So I want to remind you that data privacy is not only about electronic records. It's also about physical records. So you have registries, but some of your registries can enter and come out. So that's what we are seeing. So data privacy is about both physical records and electronic records. So why is data privacy important? I'm sorry about it because I spent some nights to prepare this, and I'm not too happy that they can't show. Somebody else said he brought the projector. I don't know where the person is. Oh, anyway, in computing, backup is the most important, you know. So why is it important? Because we are saying now that the owner of the data, that we call the data subject, should be in control of how and where his data will be used. And when I'm talking to civil service, I'm always saying that many of you hold data in the name of confidentiality. It should not be so. My data is my own. I gave it to you. It now became an official document. It now says it's confidential to me. Should that be so? It shouldn't be so. That's what data privacy law is all about. So it's supposed to protect us. And then we'll start to talk about, because we are now in a connected society, most of us use our phone for most of the things we do. It means that your phone is also more important, even more than your laptop. Some of us, we have our data, personal data on our phones, not just our mobile banking. Your digital copies of certificates may be here. All your certificates may be on your phone. Everything about you. So if somebody gets to your phone, you can put you in trouble. That's why it's important that we protect from hackers who are prowling the internet looking for data that they can use, you know. And then about that. So because of that, many countries have their own data privacy laws. Nigeria promulgated our own in 2019. Ghana 2013. Egypt, China, even the US, they have it by state. Don't they have a federation? So everywhere in the world, and the most popular one is the GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, that they have in the European Union, which was established in 2016, but started using it in 2018. This is that all over the world, everyone has a data privacy law. And for us to be competitive, for example, you know that Lagos State get a lot of grants from outside. So they have to be seen to be data privacy compliant. That's why Mr. Governor called us like 2 years ago now, and they established a committee headed by the Attorney General, Onibanjo. So we have done 30 MDAs. Is the election that's over? We're going to do another batch of 20 in the next batch. So and I'm sure to come to local government. We are saying that even before it comes to you, if you have knowledge of data privacy, it will help you when you are setting up and running your departments, your IT systems, even your physical departments. And I have to say that there's a fine for non-compliance. And interesting enough, LRS was fined in 2020, 1 million because they begged. In 2021, electronic settlement system was fined 5 million. Also, 2021 August, they fined Soko loans. Those people that send imaginary, they send all kind of messages to people. They were fined 10 million. And in the Netherlands, the government fined its own tax and customs department. The government fined its own. So it means that MDAs, you can be fined. Don't say we are a government. And the fine is 2% of your annual revenue of the preceding year, or 10 million. Would you rather pay that to government or do productivity bonus or training for your staff? Which one would you prefer? But what we are saying is that don't make sure that it's not you that you be the source of that leakage. That's why we are talking to you. We are saying that data privacy affects you both personally and officially. Because you keep your data with other people. So they too are subject to you. But you too, the data that passes through your table, you have a duty of care to the owners of those data. So that's why you should be interested, both officially and personally. And interesting enough, they say, even if you have retired, if you can trace it back to you, we'll call you back to come and account for it. Even if you are retired, it's in the public service, the framework they use for the public service, it is there. If we find out that the data was leaked because of you, that's why, for example, when we got to SU, we said they should not ask people to bring their nominal roll in flash drive. And they have stopped it. A flash drive can easily be lost, not even stolen, it can be lost. And anybody that gets access to it will just see all kinds of information. Do you know what they can do with it? They can blackmail people and get money from them. You don't know that? So they can trace that so and so that did it from the local government. What do they will do to that person? Even your boss will say, I don't know you again. They will just push you forward to go and see governor. Because know that in the previous election, You know your government, the Mr. Governor was harassed by somebody. I don't know whether I remember that story. So the governor is highly interested in data privacy. I'm sure you remember that story. You don't know again, 2015. You have forgotten that somebody said he went to somewhere. If you don't know, I won't be the one to tell you here. So that's why he's personally interested in the project. So you must know that what we are giving you ahead, we are giving you advance so you can run. But under the NDPR, as we call it, there are some core principles of data processing you must follow. Number one, you collect minimum data you need. It's called data minimization. You collect the minimum, don't collect everything. You don't need my neighbor or my mother's name. You know, some people ask for your mother's maiden name. And what do you need it for? My mother has died many years ago. You know, so I don't know what you do with the maiden name. So we are saying you must collect the minimum data you require. Then you must provide adequate storage for that data. Then you must also ensure that you are accountable. And then you have a duty of care to the owner of the data. We call them data subjects. And I said that you are a data subject somewhere, maybe to your bankers, to your pension office, but the people also data subject that you keep their data. You are accountable, you have a duty of care. So you must provide adequate security for that data, whether physical or electronic. Because what you are protecting against data breach. So you must do that. And then what rights do you have as a data subject? Like I said, you have a right to be informed of the data that I keep about you. You have a right to be informed. That's why I keep saying to civil servants, please, if I give you my information, you cannot say it's confidential to me. But you can say I can only look at it in a supervised manner. But you can't say it's not available, that's confidential. My data, I gave it to you. Why should it not become confidential to me? But you can supervise the viewing. For me to see, say, you can always, maybe for example, you can see it on the screen, you can't change it. You can't modify it. If you need to modify it, you expect to create a form where you can change. So you have a right of access to it, you have a right to be informed, you have a right to change it, you have a right for portability, just like we do with our mobile phones. You can say, I want to move my data to another agency, but we give them an authority to say you are the one asking for it. And it happens a lot in medical history. I'm sure you understand that. Someone wants to go to another hospital, they ask for the history, so but you will give them authority to, and they have a right to change what you are giving them. I formerly known as, now it will be known as, because I can't change my name. Abi, I can change my name at any time. And also we are saying that, you know, if you go online, if you go to any site now, they will show you their cookie policy. You have to click before you continue, because they collect your data. They want you to consent. If you don't consent, you get out of the website. Even on Zoom, if you notice, you say, this meeting is being recorded. Got it? You have to click, got it, or otherwise. It's because of data privacy. And if you follow, you know that a lot of them have been fined abroad. Even last week, Meta was fined $1.3 billion for data breach. 1.3 billion. Very interesting. So you have a right of access, you have a right to be informed, you have a right to change what you have. And then, maybe you have not noticed, but I'm saying that when you catch people on video, you're supposed to put a public notice. This site is being on video. It's because it's a legal issue. Because the point is, if you catch somebody on evidence in the video, but there's no public notice, you can't take that evidence to court, in a court of law. So I'm saying if you have CCTV in your offices, you must have public notice outside. This premises is being video. It's for legal protection. It's not for joke. That's the point. You can take that evidence to court. I know that not only visitors can steal or do whatever, even employees can do some things. I'm sure you understand that. So it's not only people that, so I'll try to make it fair. I'm just giving you the gist. And then the law provides basis for which you can process people's data. Number one is consent. The person must consent that he wants his data processed. But I told you, you have a right to object. So you have to give consent. And his consent should also be explicit. And that's why we like to involve HR in just what we are doing. That HR must design the form where people are giving data. Every employee, they should sign that, they don't tell me, I agree to give you my data. So I can't come back and say, I didn't give you. For example, if I come for an interview in your office, once you have interviewed me and you didn't take me, you still need my CV. So you must dispose of it, otherwise you are liable Because I can't imagine if I come and then somebody, my bank is selling a down to I see my CV there. If I can take this to your office, I will sue you for all you got. How can I see my CV on the road and I give it to you in local government because I was looking for a job? So you have a duty of care. So what are the challenges users face when protecting their online privacy? That people are tracking us. Before you know it. For me, for example, you do know that I decided that I will put on my phone by 12 midnight. Because I believe that some of the apps work overnight to collect data. When they say what types of updating, what are they doing? They are recollecting, they are updating data they have about you. So, so you can lose control because you go to a website, you just click and go. But at the back end, somebody has collected your data. That's why if you now go to Jumia next time, they show you a black bag, a red bag, because last time you looked for a black bag. They now show you other bags that are available. Have you seen that before? Yes. That's what we call data science now, Abi. Yes, analytics. They collect it and say, those who bought this also bought this. I'm going to run. Then, app organization. They're exposed to data breaches, what we're talking about today. And then they could be exposed to also to cybercrime, where they use the computer as a tool to commit crime. Then the one that is greatest is insider threat. Somebody inside working with external people. My boss will tell you that, we have been telling it in Lagos State that some of you work for 3 people. They work for Lagos State, they work for politicians, and they work for armed robbers and kidnappers. You know, nowadays, you don't need to steal any file anymore. You just take the photo. So even though that may not know that anything is missing. That's why we say so you don't leave files on the table to show that you are working. Attendance is not productivity. I'm sure you agree. Attendance is not, not that we work at home. We are more productive than before. So I hope you are taking the gist because I can't show you. But I will circulate it. I will give it to TJ. We'll circulate the slides to you. So just listen to me. Just listen to me. You get the slides. It's already in PDF format. I'll send it to you, even right after now. So we were saying that in November 2022, the federal government issued a circular that all MDAs must comply with the data privacy regulation. And that is why Lagos State government is interested in doing it. There was a circular, actually there's a copy there. So everyone, both public and private sector who possess personal data must comply with data privacy regulation. In fact, even right now, I don't know what's happening, even right now, Buhari wanted to sign the data protection bill before it goes, but I don't know whether it's still possible, to make it to become a commission, not just a regulation. So you have a national commissioner, Dr. Olatunji. So, coming back to the local government, what are some of the functions of local government? I wrote here, I say building and maintaining roads, street lights, drains, parks, public, maintaining, regulating markets, and then registering births, deaths. I'm almost through, okay? Yes, registering births, deaths, and marriages, regulating shops. So, for example, you are registering births for since a long time. 2 years ago, I ended my marriage certificate. I couldn't find it again. So I went to Zulu local government where we live to collect a certified copy. If they had not kept it properly, would that have been possible? So when we talk about data privacy, we are talking about record management and data privacy. You must understand that's the basis. You keep a lot of records. Marriages have done before even we were born. Because I went to City Hall some years ago when I was at Ife. I needed my birth certificate. I went to City Hall. And just told me, when were you born? And they brought out the register, and they read it and typed it out for me. Because they were keeping it. It was one big ledger. But they were keeping the record. I was born in 1959. So I was able to get a certified true copy of my birth certificate. Because they don't want affidavits. So because you collect data, you have become what we call the data controller. I must provide procedures to protect that data. You must, you know. So here I'm trying to say that, for example, I don't know, by the United Nations, there are about 3 classifications of records: strictly confidential, and unclassified. I don't know what you do in local government. Strictly confidential, and unclassified. Strictly confidential means that if you're exposed to unauthorized people, it can cause exceptional damage to the work. If it's confidential, it can cause damage to the work. If it's unclassified, it may not cause damage to the work. But nevertheless, what we say, I don't know what the classification scheme you use, but we're saying that make sure you follow approved fast classification schemes in keeping your records, whether manual or electronic. That way, so how do you protect physical records? Number one, so I've told you, some of your registries, they don't even have door, or they don't lock them again. Yes or no? So you should, I'm serious. We have been going around some places. So fix doors and windows. Keep 5 cabinets in lock and keep them locked at all times. Don't lock them and put the key in it. Some of you lock the lock, but the key is inside, is in front. I'm just labeling all files. Supervise all external visitors when they come. Transfer records to archives when no longer in there. I'm sure you have last wrap. What do you call them? Then how do you protect electronic records? Encryption, because you are IT people. Encryption, role-based access control. You should only see what according to your job, function, and even level. Using strong passwords and two-factor authentication. Using firewalls. Like I said, backup is the most important. You have regular backup of your data. And backup means outside the office. Don't be like me. I lock my car. My keys are my car. And my house keys inside my car. So I can't even go and get the duplicate copy of the key of the car. So backup means outside the premises. Not in your pockets. Not in your drawer. Because suppose you can't enter that office, what are you going to do? So it should be outside. The least should be outside that office. That's why I say that most offices of IT, they don't put them on the ground floor. It is possible. They put them on a pedestal, so at least even there's fire, it won't affect them. I'm going to round up quickly. So we said the law expects that you appoint a DPO, what we call a data protection officer, whether you are an ministry, department, or agency. Once you process data subjects of about 10,000, you must have a DPO. But what I want to say here is that before data privacy came, a lot of people just put people in HR to manage data because they've been there in HR. But right now, that has to change. You must appoint a data protection officer to do the work. No longer HR people. It's in the implementation framework from the regulator. You must designate a DPO. Not use you shouldn't do by default. Just put HR people there because they know. No, it should be a technically savvy person. I hope you are following me. And the job mission is to inform the organization, monitor compliance, train people, and liaise with the external consultants when we go. In conclusion, I've just given you a gist. Data protection by ensuring protection of data of individuals. No, the living individuals, it's not about the dead people. It's only about the living. And then there are so many benefits of data protection. You comply with standards, and then you protect your data, you protect your reputation. Imagine there's a problem and you can't run. Because the university in the United States that was happening in 1865, they were hacked. And they had to close down in Chicago, 1865. Because they couldn't continue, they couldn't get their data. There are so many examples I can give you here, but I'm sure if you actually are aware online, you have seen a lot of things, even so many schools. Because we realize that about 2.2 billion people are in school. So that is a very good way for hackers to fish and get information and market goods to young people in school. So in other words, in summary is that we should appoint a data protection officer, but as we are starting today, we need to get executive buy-in. But what I want to do was ensure that our managers are part of it. No matter what you know, if your guy doesn't agree, sorry about it. So it's very important. And then we do capacity building and training. We are available for that. And very importantly, that you budget and resource allocation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Doyin Talabi. Please, can we give a round of applause to him again, please? Now we want to go into the main discussion for today. And actually, the topic for the discussion is divided into two, which is developing a roadmap for IT deployment. Then second topic said roadmap for data privacy compliance and in local government. So, and to do those discussion is this afternoon will be Mr. Rex Mr. Rex and Mrs. Inebi. So yeah, so two of them we are going to I don't know. So they're going to take up the discussions, and maybe we'll get questions from the public at the time comes in. As the time comes.
However, what our Mr. Data Privacy have just done now is now when he was presenting, was presenting from his phone. And too bad that we cannot see this. So you can see what we are talking about now. If you are the one at your local government, your chairman and everybody are sitting down, and you want to project, you have an issue. So that's why we are saying anything we want to do, we should have a backup, second option, when that thing is there. Sir, I just want to create the audience, sir. The presentation, the slides, sir, if it can be available so we can share and give to them, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to stand on existing protocol, and I must thank the chairman, Mr. Kunle Oladipupo, for providing the opportunity to be here to discuss how we can improve service delivery at the local government level. I sincerely thank the last speaker, Mr. Doyin Talabi, for that presentation. I must thank my very good friend, Mr. Tijani, for the push and the fight, really. Getting things done in our country is not an easy task. So I commend you and your team for what you're doing. I especially want to thank my sister, my co-discussant here, my co-discussant, Mrs. Chulamach Ilebi, for accepting to co-discuss this issue with me. Okay, I'd like to start with one experience, a good experience, but at that time it was more like a horrible experience. Horrible experience in the sense that when I got my letter for NYSC, I was posted to Nasarawa State, and after the whole fun field activities at the orientation camp, the last day, I'm sure you guys will have experience of this. The last day, I got a letter, and meanwhile, while we're in camp, I don't know if some of you know Nasarawa State, a very big state with large landmass. After, most times we get threatened that, oh, we'll post you to Toto, or we'll post you to Nasarawa Ego. So that place is like 3 hours far from the main town. And I mean, we understand that I've not been there. I understand that you get to a point and you have to take bike, and that bike will take you another 1 hour down to, So, and we're scared. But that day I got a letter, and when I got the letter, I read, my posting was to Uke. Uke is 25 minutes from city center. So, but I was asking friends, asking people. Then somebody now said, oh, your own is even better. You're on your way to Abuja now. The place is not far from Abuja. So, a bit I was happy. But here is a guy that showed up and carrying board saying, who is going to Karichi local government, who is going to Uke. So we were picked with one rugged bus, and we start the bumpy ride. The road wasn't that good. We left the main road, and we're just dancing around the bush. If it were to be now, I'm sure you know what would be in my mind with the issue of Boko Haram and everything. So, and we got to the village. Lo and behold, that is the Secretariat of the Karishi Local Area Development Council. no light, nothing whatsoever. And I was taken to the chairman's office. And the chairman said, "Are you the computer man? That I specifically request for a computer person. So you are the computer man. We're going to have fun." I was just thinking in my mind, you were computer care. You are who? I better redeploy to Lagos. So. But that was on Thursday. And on Monday, I resumed there. Then we met with the airline. The airline was trying to converse us. You guys will enjoy this village, this, that, but there's no light. So after our meeting that Thursday, I left back for Abuja. And on Monday, I was taken to the chairman's office again. And the chairman said, "Computer man, open that carton." And I opened. Beloved, they had 2 brand new computers, 2 printers, 1 new generator, everything packed together. Nobody touched it. So he said, "You help us to set it up, and in fact, you are going to be PA to local government or local to the chairman on IT." What a big title. I've been hearing of. I've been hearing of PA, TA in the political circle. So for as nice as it was, but my mind was not there. So, but I set up the system. I set up the printer, and they put on the gen. Immediately they put on the gen, the whole, everybody in the local government rally around me, so I was more like a dome. Yeah, you know. But after that, what is the next thing? Nothing to work on, all right? Because everything was done manually. And the most important thing to local government at that level is the payroll at that time. So the woman in charge of payroll was like, "I'm not going to give any opportunity for anybody to collect this thing from me." So she wouldn't release it. So the only thing I resolved at doing was just to type letter for the chairman, print, and I asked myself, how long am I going to do this? So I woke up one day and I told my ally that I need to leave this village. This is not what I bargained for. Because the only time, at a point, the chairman will call maybe once in a week. So if he's coming, he will call me, "Computer man, we'll meet in the office." I will leave Abuja, come to the office. So after a while, I had to get a job in Lagos, and I redeployed to Lagos. So, but what is this story is about the failure of local government system, as well as the challenges before the local government. All right? And those challenges will be solved by those of us in this hall. When I got this invitation, I tried as much as possible to, after many years, about 20 years now, I went back to the place and tried to see if there's any changes or development. Yes, they have, but nothing really. And I equally put a call across to my own local government. I'm from Akure North local government. I put a call across to the SA on information to equally get some information so that I have an idea of what is going on in the local government. I worked in Anambra for 4 years. I put a call across to the local government where I work. Okay, what do you do? And I was told that we are challenged with funds. So we just go, we don't have computer. Yes, there's one computer, but in the office of the chairman. All right? So what am I trying to say here? I put together 8 challenges here. And maybe we've not discussed around this. The first one is infrastructure and the connectivity. I don't know if you are running NEPA here or if this is generator. That's a major challenge. All right? If there's no infrastructure, if there's no connectivity in terms of broadband access, today some states charge for right of way for you to lay fiber. Okay? If you have fiber, nobody think of, okay, have this access to internet, because when you have that, then business will come into the city or to the state, then you can tax companies and you make money and the revenue of the state grows. All right? Data management and integration. I'm glad that my senior colleague here talked about the issue of data privacy, which falls under data management. How are we managing our data? The Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria recognized that local government is critical to sustainability of a nation. And local government is meant to advise state government on what need to be done, okay, in terms of development. And local government is the closest arm of government to the citizens. So there must be process and procedure for us to collect data and manage as well as use this data for development. Digital divide and accessibility is another challenge. Okay, a lot of people lack the tools, they lack the knowledge, they lack the skills. I'm glad about what you guys are doing here, but we need to do more. Okay, you've been able to, you've succeeded in getting approval for the establishment of ICT units. Posting has been done, job role defined. Okay, but the next thing is, what comes next? At every local government, there's a need, there must be, we must develop a strategy. A strategy document is very, very important that would pick a source from the policy of the government, of the state government. So that strategy at every state, at every local government or local area council will now define how you want to use ICT within that local government. And this will address the issue of data management. It will address the issue of financial planning as well as project planning. Cyber security and privacy, all right, is equally another challenge. Stakeholder engagement and capacity building. There must be training and retraining. I was just telling him here that the people here, how did they get here? And I understand that you came on your own. It is high time that the government need to understand that if you're going to collect data about the woman selling pepper, the woman selling tomato, the amount is making on daily basis, okay, to be able to know that this is what we need to do to ease the life of this woman selling pepper, selling tomato, because of what is making, because of the issues, okay, around that place. Unless you have appropriate mechanism in place to collect those data, we're not going to make progress. And training and retraining of our IT professionals is very, very important. IT profession is more becoming like a medical profession, in the sense that if you have a headache, you run to them. I don't know of your experience, but my experience is that anywhere I go to, when people, even the phone that is dead for years, they will say, Oga computer, you are a computer man, can you solve this problem? Do you understand that? So what that means is that you must continue to develop yourself, training and retraining. You must have breadth of knowledge. Breadth of knowledge in the sense that across IT sector, you must have different, you may not really be a professional in data privacy, for example, or in networking, or in programming, but you need to have an idea of what is important to do. Then you now know that this is the area you major on. The area you major on, you must be good at that. Policy and regulation is very, very important. There must be adequate regulatory framework. The chairman talked about, push a challenge to CPN, that's Computer Professional Registration Council of Nigeria, which I equally encourage you guys to get registered with and be licensed by CPN so that you understand the policy framework as it relates to digital penetration at the local government level. Sustainability and scalability is equally key. So I'm going to stop there for now on these 8 points, and I'll give room for my co-discussant to share our own perspective. And when we come back, we'll take it a bit further. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abitogun. I want to start by congratulating everyone in this room because we are bringing ICT to the grassroots. It's a good thing. And so I want us to clap for ourselves for being part of it. So also, we like to address these points from the angle of change. I am happy that my colleague, co-discussant, has mentioned things on how we embrace the change. He gave us his history when he went to serve. And 20 years down the line, things haven't really changed. Meaning that we don't only want to be a game player, but we want to be a game changer. That is the only way possible. The world is moving, and we've heard from our from the madam that called the director. We've heard from her that the world is changing. There have been innovative disruptions, and we are part of it. But we must be able to embrace the change. So we've heard of some of the challenges that we have. Yeah, they are there, but I want to start by saying that the change begins with us. And the only constant thing in life, unfortunately, is change itself. So we must be able to embrace the change. And on that note, I would like to talk from two perspectives. I like us to look at how we can be a change owner and also a change implementer, a change embracer. So when we talk about being a change owner, now the ICT has been brought to our local government. We now have a setup, an establishment of ICT units in our local government. Are you owning that change? Are you ready to take over the ownership of that change? I need response, please. Yes, we must be able to own the change. We must be able to embrace it and see it from the angle of, oh, this change, this innovation, this IT is coming to take our jobs, or is a disturbance, or is impacting negatively on the way we used to do things, our culture. So I'm not going to embrace it. So we must, first of all, be able to accept that change and own it. And how do we own the change? It is by showing interest in it. We heard about data protection, data privacy now. We have the knowledge, but are we going to effect it in our various local governments and units? Are we going to still be going to make photocopies, at the business center, or we want to fight to own a printer? That is what taking ownership means. We must be ready to be a change implementer. So that is very important, and we also have to be able to manage the change, in the sense that we might be various units, ICT unit heads, and we have people that will be working with us. How are we going to do to ensure that everyone in our various teams embrace that change as well, and also be able to implement it? So that is where change management is coming from. So we must be able to, first of all, show our people that this is the future and the future is here. We must all learn to use ICT. We must all embrace ICT, and then we must all be able to change and also implement that change. How do we ensure that people embrace change? How do we implement change and manage change? The major way we do that is through training and education. I'm very happy that Rex spoke about training and retraining. We have to be able to train ourselves. We must encourage training. Training in ICT does not necessarily be a complex thing. Many people look at it as, oh, ICT is hard, I'm not techie, I don't love it, I don't want to, even to use my phone is difficult. Now you want me to be able to, use the computer, maybe a laptop. You want me to be able to use applications on the laptop. We heard our director talking about PowerPoint presentation. So now, we are now looking at it like, oh, it's a big thing. It's a very small thing. But we must be ready to embrace that change. That is why I'm looking at it. I see change management and change ownership as one of the greatest challenges that must be overcome. So let's have an open heart. Let's train ourselves. Let us also take advantage of the experts in the field. They are all around us. Nigerian Computer Society, have pledged their support. And we have members in here. Fortunately, Mr. Tijani here is also a good member. So reach out to experts in the field when you need training, when you have any form of challenge whatsoever with your change implementation or change management, and they will be ready to, we will be ready to support you. And I also want to talk a little more about personal development. We have said that we don't only play in the change, we want to be a game changer. So we don't just want to, if for example you love football and you like to watch football, I know that most of our men here love that, but at the same time, it is watching football is different from playing football. I'm sure we all agree. So you can't say, oh, because I love to watch football, then I am, a footballer. So the same thing is applicable to IT. It is that having that knowledge that, oh, we now have ICT in our various local governments and we have some resources available is not enough. We must play in the game. We must be ready to embrace it. And then that is where our personal development is coming in. Once we have been able to cultivate interest and we are now owning the change, we are now a change owner, then we should be able to develop ourselves. It is practically impossible to have training in all facets of IT. IT is revolving. It is running. It is not constant. Today now you will see a phone coming out. Oh, this is iPhone 12. Now we have iPhone 14. And it's still going. When we talk about Office, Microsoft, various applications, gone are those days we talk about, I've even lost track of it. Now we have Office 360. Yes, we have Lotus 123 back in those days. But now, every day, new innovations, new technology are coming up. How do we catch up? Remember, the director said that people that are not ready to be at pace will be dropped by the way. So how do we catch up? It is through personal development, and you don't even need no money to do that. You don't need money because there are so many free trainings, free, information on the internet. All you need most times is data. You can go on YouTube. You can learn anything on YouTube. You can learn anything on Google. Just Google it. How do I save my data? How do I have a good backup? Where can I back up my data? So you see so many information. So that is where our personal development is coming in. So we must be able to take ownership and not push it to other people. And then we must be able to manage change. I don't want to talk too much. It's a discussion. So we just throw the floor open.
Okay, I think it would be good to hear from the other side of divide. What do you consider to be a major challenge to you at the moment in terms of using IT to drive local government administration and services? What will you want government to do so that I'm sure the relevant people can put that together? So, yes.
Hello.
Good afternoon. My name is Ade Julius Demilade, ICT Jede, LCDA. I really want to appreciate this gathering here because it's actually something we have really been craving for. Fortunately for me, the commission came to Ijede. I think, is it last week? It came to Ijede, LCDA, and I was called out. I was asked that, what have I been doing for the past years that I've been appointed? There's a common thing we do in the local government that as a head of, you cannot outrightly say you can't outrightly say we are not doing anything. Our council is not doing anything. Our council is this. No. So we just say we are working towards, but we are not working towards anything. So fortunately, we are still struggling with offices first. So even I was almost a pest in the local government because I was running after the CM, running after the HRO, running after the chairman. When they see me, they he's here again. He's here. But I was finally given a point. I'll call it a point inside the budget. They had to craft that place out. Empty room. We had to personally be bringing my reading tables and all into the local government, to even accommodate staffs. Nothing inside we can't work with anything. When I sat down, I thought I can't be coming to the office and be sitting down in the ante room. And we say there's an ICT in this local government. I don't think if I go home, welcome sir, does it, I can't tell them I didn't do anything. What did I do? I went around the local government. I found ICT equipment that are abandoned. So I did my inventory. I troubleshooted some. I found out that some just minor issues. When I came out, I gave them what the commission required. Give us this, the training. They looked at it, they laughed. The ICT. Oh, Mobitowa. What do we do? Thankfully, I have a very good subordinate in mind. So we went around. We picked these abandoned systems. They were glad to give us. They saw it as dustbin. They were laughing. So we pressed. Then we got a fund. We did some. We told them the system they are always putting their face on. I spoke to the chairman. We can actually make a little out of this. They like hearing where it will reduce their spending. So we tell them we can actually make you do this in a cheaper. Okay, fast. The approval came out, so we got an amount 100 plus or so. We used to fix about 4 to 5 systems, and they were working. Surprisingly, they were and now they are calling us for everything, even any small pain. They are calling us for that. So, but that's what we can. But these systems are really outdated. I can tell you, we are working with. We are still working with some Pentium systems. We are working with some 1 gig RAM systems. That's how terrible it is. Luckily, if we run 2 programs on it, we have to wait and sleep. So maybe, if we are even browsing, opening Mozilla, no. So these are the things. But we have some systems they got used, like these printers, photocopiers. These are what has been, the finance has been reducing their expenses. So, and we have the issue of repairing from the finance post. When there's an ICT unit, they will repair. They say, we have repaired our system. When you come as an ICT, they say, you want to get this. Emma for consistent wa. So I have to tell them that, sorry, those are those days. There's an ICT on ground. So any system here belongs to Ikeja LCDA. The ICT is in charge of that system. We can decide to remove your monitor and replace it. If you have any issue, go to the CM. So I think the commission still needs to educate these people. We are fixing a system. Maybe they brought it to us to complain that toner was the tone. Now to get the toner, we have to get to Korodu garage. In 30 minutes, they will come. I've a share now. Can you wait now? So these are things we are facing, and till now we don't yet have anything in our office. So we are literally working with what we have. Yeah,
let's hear from more people. Please, let's appreciate him. Let's put our hands together.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dusuma Abdulkarim. So far, so good. For the past 1 year that ICT has been created, I think we have been facing some challenges that I can say it that is general. The first thing is ICT is not accepted. They see it as a challenge that our people to work bashewa. So they are not willing to let us in order to use the little knowledge we have to help make their work or functions better. They see us as challenges, as a milestone. If these people do this, we will be able to get this and this and this and this again. And it's not supposed to be like that. Secondly, the first speaker was talking about things that the local governments, at the local government level, that ICT must be doing. You talked about strategy document. If I can, at least from my own end, they will still tell you that you guys are still new. You don't know what's up with the system. So they won't even call you to those things that are important. Whereas you are supposed to be there. It is when you are there, you can tell them that, my chairman, sir, or my CM, if you do this, it's not going to be beneficial for you on the long run. Why not let's do this? They won't allow you because they will not even call you. So how do we break that barrier? How do we move further? It's not like we ICT staffs that are here, we are not ready to do. But how do we get them to give us that chance, that opportunity, to tell them that yes, we can do more if you are given the chance to do more. Thank you.
Sorry, we talk.
Good afternoon all. So, my name is Mrs. Ibironke Imade. I'm a HOU ICT Koka Goda local government. I don't want to speak, I don't want to talk about general problem that we are having. I want to talk on my own as an HOU ICT in my local government. There are major challenges that we are facing in my local government as an ICT, you know, I will not say expert this time around, but as an ICT oriented. First and foremost, we are there to ensure that all our applications to our various departments are, you know, are secured. Fine. But they don't give us that room, you know, to maximize our potentials, as in what we know. When our chairman was saying that as an ICT that we should be technically, you know, we should be technically sound or technically know what we are supposed to do. We cannot know all. Fine. We can't, there is no way we can know all. But with the little, like I'm talking for my own self now. So I'm using myself as an example, as an ICT oriented person. I study computer engineering. I'm good on hardware and not on software. So I know I can couple a system, you know, that is what I've been doing, and, you know, and I'm good on that aspect. So for that software, you know, method, I don't know much. So I can't say as an IT personnel or IT expert I should know all. No, I don't know how, you know, how I can, you know, achieve that ideology, as in to know more about software per se. So what I'm trying to say now is that my major problem actually is in terms of space. We don't have enough space in our local government for us to maximize our potential, what we can do, you know, in terms of our equipment and all that. You know, we don't have that. Then secondly, again, they don't give us that room, like I've said, you know, to practice our profession. Like they said, we should do a data inventory in my local government. So I went with my ICT staff. We went all around, you know, checking from one department to others. They don't even know department, they don't know about the use of UPS. They don't have UPS. They don't have some printers are bad. Some, ICT equipment are, even some are working, but they don't know. So I was even asking someone, how will I even say it? Is it a secretary? I was asking her that, okay, the UPS is not there. Why do you want this system to work perfectly? And he said that he doesn't know about UPS and all that. Why don't you write a memo concerning that so that I said that we know how to do that. We know how to do it. We know how to do that. That one is that. But my major challenges is that I want to know about software. I want to know about how to be an expert in all the application of IT per se. How am I going to achieve that? How am I going to achieve that? Then secondly, I want, we don't have, even if the commissioner, hello, they were telling us that when the representative of the PAMSEC was telling us that they are coming to, our local government, to ask ICT some 1 or 2 questions about them. We can't face them, because when we face them, they will tag us. They will tag us. When we face them, they will tag us. They are in the best position for them to, to fight for us, that provide so thing for ICT so that they can work effectively and all that. So there is no way, even if they come to to our local government, I cannot tell them my major challenges or my major problem I'm facing. There is no way I can stand up. There is no way I can stand up and tell them. So in this aspect, please, I would like you, my chairman, sir, who can help to just help us and do that, because there is no way commission where they will come and we will stand and be telling them that this is the problem we are having in. So that is our problem. So about space, they need to provide us space, and they have to allow us to work. Then about knowing us, sir, training is important, sir.
We'll take note
so
of that.
Let them,
let's take more
train us about all aspects of IT that we need to know.
All
to
right.
be an IT guru and all that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Damilare Paul from Mosan Okonla LCDA, ICT unit. All right. To my dear brother from Ikeja, congratulations on your 1 gig RAM Pentium desktop that you're using. You're lucky. You still have one. But in our office, we don't have anything. And part of the thing that I feel you can help us with, sir, is for them at the office to stop using us as a secretary. There was a time I was called. Sorry, that's not my duty. I can't do it. That's one. And secondly, there is a time that I had the opportunity to sit with my chairman, and I was telling her, excuse me, ma, I think we need to eradicate some things in the local government. Part of which is we sending mails via dispatch email. I believe each offices, each department should have emails address and everything that we can just, okay, from my office I want to work and I will just send it to this person. Everything in that local government still falls down back to ICT unit. But right now, I believe we're not even using 1% of our efforts in the local government. So if you can just please help us orientate them. We are sick and tired of working with no tools. We're sick and tired of working like, secretary. Thank you very much. I want to rest on this one.
Good afternoon. My name is Abdulaziz Kamaruddin. I'm here to represent my HOU from Victoria Island SCDA. Anyway, everybody has spoken. They have spoken generally. So if I say we should personalize our own, if I said what we are experiencing, maybe because we are from fee high, exactly. So we know they were treating us normal. I can assure you that immediately we take off, were given office. We have been, we have, actually we don't have many systems, but they gave us money, we buy our own system. We buy printer. So yeah, we buy printer. From day one, no, hold on now. Let's just...
One house, please.
One house. I'm saying
One house.
Personally, from our own side.
One house, please.
Presently, in our local government, in our ICT, we are the one that developed our website. We are still the one in charge of our website. We develop it. We even have to network all our local government. They gave us money, we bought internet, which, though the issue we are having, and I know it's generally, the issue we are having, I know the issue is generally, and I can say the commissions should help us look into it. Most especially.
Hello, please, sir. Hello, sir. Just hold on. Please, the reason why we are here is what we are seeing now. You can see now that we have two sides to a coin. We have majorly where we are having issues, and here we come now. We can have another issue that is supersede what we are having, and we want to set a roadmap. We can actually benchmark what he's doing. At least they will tell us, no, it's not. It's because we are looking as if it is the whole local government. But if a local government is coming up, and I know I've even been to Yaba LCDA, I saw what is there too, his office. So if we have some offices that actually have the template that commission gave to them, why other people are not using it? So let him finish, please. Don't distort what he's saying. Thank you.
So the only challenges we are facing, especially in my local government, is budget department. They are giving us some kind of issue. You know, they still believe we are so they are not giving us that kind of support. And they believe immediately they created ICT unit, they believe we are going to take up most of their jobs. For instance, we used to buy a computer in our local governments. We buy so many. Like last year, we buy like 20, they bought like 20. But the problem is that the budget is taking the responsibility of buying it. They don't want to give all the chance. You understand? But thank God we have a chairman that understands and is ready to listen to us. So we have been able to fine-tune and settle that matter that anything pertaining to computer now should be coming to ICT. Because even if they bought the computer, we are still going to be the one to do the installation, all the kind of things. So we cannot be saying, we cannot give them specific, but let them give us the chance, let's go and buy it, and then we know specifically I want to buy. But what I'm just trying to say is that the commission can help us and maybe remind and send another memo where we specify the function of ICT in all the local government, so that all the unit and department, they will know the responsibility of ICT, that it is the responsibility of ICT to do this, to do that. But I know, it's not that I'm just saying all this time I'm saying. In my own local government, we have been able to at least to establish ourselves. Anything they want to do that related to the computer, anything, they will refer it back to us. And it's because of we have listening CM that listen to us, that understand us, and equally our chairman equally support us. So that is it. So all one of that we should. The only thing that I want to tell all other HOU that are here is that you should try and be close to your CM. If your CM if he's going to have a listen here, he will be able to just, it's all this HOD, and most especially all this HOD budget that doesn't allow, that does not want ICT to function. You understand? Most of the HOD budget, they don't want it to function. Because, for instance, data processing, all this data they are collecting, buying of computer. So they want it to still be within them.
Thank you.
So they are the ones that are doing all those kind of things behind us. Please. The commission should help us forward another letter. No charge.
Okay, we'll just take 3 more. Okay. 3 more.
Good afternoon, House. My name is Larry Olaraju. I'm a private person. Can I contribute, sir? Okay, fine. I feel that I did a head count and I realized that I think we have about 44 participants, including myself. At least you have like 57 thereabout, or multiply by 2, you have 114 here. So that means it's a failure on your part, as in the participants, majorly. That's number one. Number two, you brought in, when the first speaker was speaking, I just concluded immediately that you guys are not thinking outside the box. But I have to let two other people speak. But fortunately for me, this man from VI spoke and he also alluded to the other side of the story. Now, to cut the long story short, you people brought in civil servant mentality to this forum. This is not government forum. This is a private sector participation with government. So I expect all of you to join Nigerian Computer Society. Please join so that you can network. Then from what you have said, from the sample I've taken, because I'm a data person, I can deduce that you don't even know your job descriptions. Most of you don't know your job descriptions. Okay, fine, madam. If you want to learn software, go to business center. They will teach you how to do data process, all this typing, presentation. That is the training that you get. You get it from them, free. But if you go to all those bigger schools, probably you'll be paying 100,000 naira. That is expensive. Go to those places, you learn all those things. They are free there. All this business center where they type, PowerPoint, all these graphics, you get it there. For everybody, tap into it. Then number two is, I said think outside the box. You can do training. Okay, fine. You said, have you done Zoom training with Zoom meeting with any of your local government staffs? Do you know how to use Zoom yourself? So why didn't you teach them? Hold on. They will not give you because you can use your phone. Start from there. Establish yourself. Stamp your foot on the ground. They will take it off from there. Make sure that, don't believe that you displace them, but give them value. Do training for them. You bring out training, just go to one small room in your office and say you want to do computer training for them. Meanwhile, this stuff is information technology, not computer. So it's carry on. My master is speaking to me, so I think I will just stop there for now. I have so many things to say. Thank you. Sorry. Your hand was not up before. Your hand just went up now.
I think that's the last person, so that we respond, we discuss, then we'll go back.
Good afternoon, sirs and Mas. My name is Akinjobi. My name is Akinjobi Mustafa. Please, I think all our discussion boils down to CPN, NCS, inviting our top organs. For example, like the chairman, like Victor Island that said they did this, they did that. Their chairman is IT person. So if a chairman or the council manager or any of the organs is IT oriented, all these things, if you bring an idea, like me, for example, I took an idea to my chairman that we can use a pay gate to correlate revenue. So no way, because it doesn't have interest. But if our body, if you can have a platform to invite them to maybe like a seminar or something, maybe like, I don't know, if you orientate them, then we have a good way.
Yeah, well done. You see, I didn't work in the civil service, but the stories you are telling, because I'm a pioneer in IT, I can say so. My number is 369 NCS. In the 90s, I was working in some banks. I worked in 4 different banks. So this story you are telling is not strange to me. You are pioneers. In a bank, I was head out of IT. What happened then? IT was under finance. So I don't go to the management meeting. When my AGM takes my budget to the meeting, he can't explain to them, so they won't approve it. What did I do? Even though I was working by most people at that time, I'm talking about 1992, when they were still illiterate in computing, what did I do? I just got a desktop, I put the BBC encyclopedia playing automatically. I put it in my MD's office by 7:30 in the morning. I put it there. I told the officers to help me check when the MD controller is looking at it. The MD locked his door for 3 hours. He was watching that CD. After that, he will not cancel my budget. He will just say, come and explain to me. In fact, he took that system to his children. So, approach. Technical knowledge is good. Soft skills are more important. Women know that here. How do you get money from your husband? Is it by shouting? Yeah. People are at different levels. So let's assume that local governments are just starting to automate their operations. There's a process. In year 2000, First Bank appointed the first ED, IT and operations. That's when the IT systems changed. Because the man was at the board level. Until you get that sense of move. So you here, your approach in the office must change. I had to go and think what I would do. And I can tell you, they used to call me Mr. Gigabyte in that bank. But I got most of the things I needed. Because I found out that if I made the MD my friend, what else will happen? And if anybody says anything against me, the man will not agree. Because I've found a soft spot. Can you find the soft spot of your chairman? How have you helped his job as chairman? Can you do something for him that will say, come, how do you do that thing? To help me. When you are not doing things for him personally, it will become official. Like someone said, you can become his PA, not that anything is wrong. If that's the way you can get to him, get him to guide you a system, either even if it's used. But please, civil service mentality will harm you. I have told you, Ambode was auditor. Auditors are always behind. Is that not so? But we became a governor. Our friend in Gombe, who was in CBN before, I know the man, he was governor. Yeah, he was an auditor. So I'm saying, you may be at the back. Find a chart. Number one is being friendly and being able to show value. You can start from the top people. See, what are they doing? I can help you create a document with this. I can do an exercise for you to do this. It will make you faster. Don't make a fuss that you have been appointed. So what? If your boss doesn't like you, there's nothing you can do. Your boss must like you before he will listen to your story. Change your attitude. I'm sorry. Don't look at it as a job. It's a career. Do you know that? I can tell you I left it for 1983 and I'm still in IT. Because it's very... But there have been challenges. I was in another bank. They told me, Talabi, we employed you. We know you have technical knowledge, but that's not where I employed you. We employed for the ability to cope under pressure. My phones will not stop ringing, even on Sundays. They told me my salary is for 24 hours. I'm serious, I'm not joking. So you have, even though IT is now an enabler. So every part of the business needs you. So find a soft spot to get inside. Don't say you are appointed. What does that mean? It means nothing to the chairman now. You are appointed, so what does that mean? Find a way to show value, how you can help them to do their work. That one that will call you, come and tell me how we can now expand it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I think that's very important. First, I want to commend the guy that took the initiative to look for scrap and turn it and make something out of it. One of the things that we equally preach is, in terms of electronic waste, is recycling. Okay, and I will share one experience that is similar to that. When I was chairing Abuja chapter of Nigeria Computer Society, we came up with an idea, and the idea was Computer for School Initiative. We don't have money to buy computer and share around the local government, but what we did was to write to government organizations. If you have old computers, please donate it to us. So we got our members, we got some few computers and some servers. Some of those servers are big. So you have systems that they've locked in the store for years. So we got some of our members to equally volunteer. So we have what we call Tech Saturday. And it provides platform for two things. Number one is that those that want to learn hands-on skills in terms of coupling and equally working on components of computer, they will have opportunity to come. Those that have gained experience in A+, system maintenance, they will have opportunity to equally give back. So we have Tech Saturday where all the computers that we gathered and the printers and stuff, we identify all of them. I mean, we troubleshoot all of them. Some of them, some components, minor components got damaged. Some of them, major things. Some of them you need to replace the motherboard. So we fixed those computers and we donated those computers across the 6 local governments in FCT. All right? So it is always good to look inwards. The essence of this platform is for us to share knowledge, to share ideas, to learn from one another, to know what is working in one LDA and what is not working in another local government. Also to equally have collaboration with the private sector through the Nigeria Computer Society. It is our hope that majority of the people here will eventually become a member, okay, and also through conferences, through meetings, you can equally gain ideas, you can equally have access to some other people. And I'm sure there are some other organizations that possibly, out of maybe CSR, they can identify a local government and say they want to furnish it. But these organizations will not just come and say they want to furnish if they don't know you. That's the essence of networking. That's the essence of coming together. All right? So tomorrow you may have a private organization, a corporate member of NCS that will say, I need a local government to work with. If you are not there, he cannot do anything to you, all right, to your local government. So take advantage of this platform. One of the things I equally said to my colleagues here is that there's need to have another forum that will engage heads of local government authorities as well as local government councils. How that will play out, I leave that to the two chairmen here, the association chairman as well as Nigeria Computer Society Lagos chapter chairman. Beyond that is that we're going to have a communique at the end of this and put some of these things together in a way with also input from my fellow, such that in a way that we can push it to government and government will make something happen. So we must understand that fingers are not equal. The guy from VI display what VI is made of. No offense in that, all right? But the inspiring story really is the guy from Ikeja, all right? Then somebody else talked about training and retraining, which is part of the things we mentioned earlier on. And I'm glad that my co-discussant talked about the need, talk about change management. And change management starts with attitudinal change, all right? Which is equally what Mr. Talabi was buttressing on. First, we must change our mindset. We must change the way we think, okay? And think of how do we make pap, white pap, out of black pot. Are we together? How do we make white pap out of black? It's all about how you can think. It's all about your initiative. It's all about what you can do. I'm sure from what we see here, what we discuss here, we've equally gotten 1 or 2 ideas that we can take to our own local government. If new systems is not available, work with old system, try and fix it, and make it more useful. When they begin to see the value, they will change their attitude towards you. 2 is that you equally offer, if some people, don't look at it that, oh, they want to convert it to typist, all right? Whatever you can offer in terms of helping someone, what you want to do is, I'm helping you to type this thing. You don't have to tell him, but helping to type, helping to say, do this, do that. You are building relationship. And one day you say, are we together? And one day you can say, madam, you know, this system is getting old. You can have new system. Why don't you buy 3? You keep 1 here and you keep 1 in our own unit. You understand? So that I can be doing this work for you anytime. All right? But I believe in the 2 gentlemen here. If they could push for establishment of IT units, I believe that they can equally push for training and retraining of IT personnel across the 57 LDAs. So we just need to cooperate with them. It's good that we're having this platform to exchange, to know what your pain points are, and equally see how we can come in. But again, you must give room, okay, for others to equally help you to solve that problem. I'll stop there for now.
want to put some feminine touch to everything that has been said by commending everyone that has spoken this afternoon, because a problem shared is half solved. So can we clap for ourselves, please? So I feel like a lot has been said, and in terms of solution too, a lot has also been said. We have to be deliberate about offering values. When we offer values in our respective local governments, they see that and they come to us. Like the Jedes guy, that story was very inspiring, even for me, because he took initiative to create value. And now everybody is calling him, and now he has a lot to say. He's adding value to himself, at the same time adding value to others. Because now he can get home and feel satisfied that he had worked and earned a living for that day. So I want every one of us here, as a form of suggestion for me, to have that same mentality. We cannot afford to just sit down and say, they are not giving me anything. I want so I can as well stay and, relax and do my thing. So please, let us find avenue to let them see the value that we bring to the table. We must take that initiative and do it ourselves. Nobody is going to do that for us. And then we must also be able to draw the line. I want to respond quickly to something that was said by, is it Mr. Abdul, from VI now. He mentioned about buying computers. Okay, from VI now. He mentioned about buying computers. That may not be the responsibility of ICT units, for example, because you might have a procurement department in that local government. But your responsibility will now come in terms of creating specifications. What is the configuration of a computer that will be useful to us? So if you are creating value in that area and letting them know, can we have a house, please? Yeah, and letting them know that, if you really want to get values from the money spent, these are the specifications of computers that you need to buy that will create that value. Then you will be creating relevance in that angle, rather than, looking for, let us be the one to buy the computer. So we must be able to draw the line. And lastly, I would like to go back to training. We must also train. One of the values that we can create is to train people in various local governments on relevance of computer, ICT. I was opportune in 2006 to help in conversion of a microfinance bank from a manual system to an automated system. So I know what it means. We've also heard from Dr. Talabi on how he also did that in First Bank and the rest. We must take charge by, training people. Is not easy, because what you want to do is to create value and relevance. So you must now look for opportunity to, maybe they have a program, you want to slot in 5 minutes from ICT to just tell them about ICT, to tell them what can we do for you, how can we help you. So when you do that, they, in one way or the other, they will begin to see that, these people can actually help us, cut costs. They can help us in improving our process and the rest, and then you will get that value. So a lot lies on our hands. We have to be the one at the forefront of doing it. And lastly, please do not underplay that suggestion of getting close, cultivating relationship with your, is this CM now that you call it? Yes, cultivate relationship with your controllers. Get close to them. Let them see your pains. Yes, from here, because of communicate that will be passed around, and also we look at for opportunity to create a forum, with them also, where we can discuss, the outcome from this stakeholders engagement. But you can also start. Remember, the change starts with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you very much, sir. Before we move to the next one, I would like to introduce the elders in the house to us. They just come in. The first person I will introduce is the former ES, Mr. Iyola. Please, a round of applause for him. He's at the back. He's a fellow too. You can look at your back. He's greeting us. The next person beside him is Mr. Frank. Also, is a fellow. Then we have a father in our midst. We used to call him Jagaban. Jagaban. In person of Mr. Rogba Adeoye. You are welcome, sir. It's nice to see you in our midst. Now, at this junction, we know we have some people online. So we don't know if there's anybody online. Either you want to ask a question or you want to chip in one thing or the other. Please, let's hear from the online. Anybody from online? Please, online people. Just one or two.
Okay, while we're waiting for online people, I think Mr. Olasheni.
Good afternoon, everybody. All protocol duly observed. My name is Olasheni Do. I'm a director, ICT, from the state. I was deployed to the Local Government Staff and Pension Office some years back. The problem that my own is just a word of advice to my colleagues here. We've gone through this problem in the state. You know, I got to the state 2000. Then we are not ICT unit anyway. We were just ICT computer personnel. We were deployed to all ministries. The way they treat you people now is the way we were treated then. We were not well treated because we started with level 8. So when they were having management meeting, they won't call us. When they were doing anything, because we are small. So they treat us, we just have to accept the way we were treated. After some time, it metamorphosed to science and technology under our amiable deputy governor, who is Dr. Amzat. He came up with some innovation and certain things were, corrected. Now, the first thing that he brought was training. And many of us here, I don't know whether we can train. I don't know. For you to be in ICT, it's like a doctor, they have said it, you need to read. If you cannot read, I don't think you can be in this field. You need to develop yourself. There are some things, if for you to be accepted by your chairman or council manager, you need to know all these basics, computer basics. You need to organize computer training. For you to just say you want to write submission for money, they will think what you are there for is money. So for you to make yourself available to be on ground, you first of all establish computer training. You set up a computer training for the clerks and other things. If you do it very well, then you'll be accepted. You will be accepted. Anything you bring, like my guy just said just now, that he put a computer system in the director's office and it was accepted. So I just want us to, please, we have gone through all this problem. But if you don't train yourself, you will just be going through the service. You could spend 20, 25 years and you will not know anything. So we have spent 23 years now. We are moving. After some time, we'll be 17. After we retire, we leave. But we develop ourselves. They used to tell us from the Ministry of Science and Technology, you need to develop yourself. The state cannot pay all this money. They cannot train everybody at once. They may only take maybe few, send them abroad, train them, bring them, train the trainer approach. But the state cannot train everybody. You need to read. You need to develop yourself. When you set up a computer training, and they see the stuff you are giving, you are teaching them, they know how to use system, then you will be accepted. If you cannot do that, they just say, so that will not help us. So we don't need to complain so much. Many of the local government, I think they are not, I don't think some of the local government are networked. Light, there are problems in the local government anyway. NCS, I think they can help us to solve more of this problem. They can just come closer and help right to the state through our chairman here to solve most of their problem. But state, we have gone extra. We have set up a network here. And we are doing Wi-Fi. We are bringing Wi-Fi. In Alausa, there is Wi-Fi everywhere now. If you have your phone, you can browse, you can do every other thing. Here they are bringing, any month from now. We have already bought it. They've bought it. Our commissioner, our permanent, commissioner, Honorable Akim Farm, they've bought everything. They are going to set, they refer to us at outside as diaspora staff. They are bringing diaspora. We are referred to as diaspora. Because those at Alausa, they are not, we are in the diaspora. So please, I just want to, please, I want to beg of everybody to learn now, to start learning. Don't just sit down and say you want. No, please, we need to read and pass the knowledge, and then you'll be accepted. Thank you all.
Well, Mr. Okay. Yeah, what we have here is the next steps and action plans. Like we have actually gotten so many complaints where they are doing very well and where we find that it's not there. So we are actually articulating all these points so that we can actually form a communique that we are giving. And good things. Madam has actually said, the representative of the PS, she said they are expecting what we are coming to, the summation of this stakeholders forum. They are expecting not just for us to just submit, we will follow it again. And I said, these are the things that we're showing. We know that government, if you list all items ranging from 1 to 10, they can just pick the one they are going to do. We will still pack them at the back and thank you. Then we'll not say when next is this one. One thing I just want us to do is this. You know, this life, you may think you get everything you want, you may not actually getting it. And I don't know, because I'm not a staff of local government, but I actually work with local government. Majorly, there's no way budget will like you, because they carve out ICT from budget. If you look at it very well, it is like what is giving them money that they just actually take out. There's no way there will not be fight, whether physical or in-physical. So there's not going to be there. But what you just have to do is, because when I was discussing with one of the your member at Etiosa, is she said they asked them to buy system. After they written the proposal and what have you, they just saw that they bought. That's the thing that they are talking about. I said, well, I'm starting to be corrected. But I know, please, one now, I know that we have various departments, because I'm actually have issues. One of the things that we're supposed to be even to fight now is, why should they create ICT unit? What is unit? It's supposed to be a full-fledged department. But like I said earlier on, that we thank government to create first. Then we can ask the nomenclature to be changed. That's one. Then two, and I said it's a process. No, we have procurement. What is job of procurement? If you want to buy anything in local government, you know, the thing will move from your chairman, CAM, what have you, procurement. Can you advise us? What is he doing? What is his primary assignment? All those things that you want to buy, he has a price. And now see whether they conform with those prices. So what you they now look at, let's hear from ICT unit, head of ICT unit, to give us his own take on that thing. If you want to buy system, for instance, if it is for engineering department, we know what they use, you know what they needed. You can't recommend that you go and buy Pentium when you know there's Core 7 now, or even more than that one. So they want to get your own input from that asset. So when you recommend that for this department, Core 7, 8 gigabytes, what have you, that's once you done that one, your own assignment close. You move. Then it is on your recommendation that they now look at what you are looking at is now, how can you make money? Honestly, you are going to make your money with way you work. When they want to get a contractor to buy those things, because you won't go and buy that thing, they said we have contractor to buy. They cannot license a contractor without you, because the thing that contractor will buy, for instance, if you want to use me as a contractor now, I must be a licensed person. Like now, I told you one thing. Currently in Lagos, please, in Lagos, I am the chairman coordinating CPN. If you are not a member of CPN and NCS, you are a quack. And now, another thing that is coming to your local government now, not only local government, even the corporate bodies too. If your head of IT is not a member of CPN or IT or NCS, it's a quack. So even the people that are actually your contractor, if they are not a member of CPN, they should not patronize them. So those are the things that we're actually looking at. So once we get that done, you will get everything you actually looking at. So thank you. I think the online people want to talk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Please, we just want to listen to two people from online. So please, unmute yourself. Mrs. Somajola, we can see you raising up your hand the other time. And Newit President. Newit, please, one of you. Good afternoon. Okay, thank you. You are all recognized. We've mentioned some of you people that we can find the other time. So because of time, can any one of you just say something? One. We need two. You are number one now. The second person, please. Thank you in absence of nothing from online. I would like to call the Fed Chairman. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. God bless you. Now, vote of thanks by the Vice Chairperson in person of Mrs. Omajola. She's going to do it online. Mrs. Omajola, please.
Go ahead, madam. Let them talk.
Sorry, Mommy, Mrs. Owolabi, go ahead. Thank you, ma. Thank you very much, ma. Very brief. Please, another person is raising up. A minute. Engineer Mustafa, please, a minute. Go ahead. Thank you very much. Noted. Thank you. What he's saying is that if you don't associate yourself with your professional and you are practice, you are quack. That's what he's saying. But when you have associated yourself with Quran, you are not a quack. Thank you. Now, please, in the house, we have 3 elders in the house. The first person I'm going to give it to is Mr. Iyola. A minute. After Jagaban, a minute. Thank you. God bless you.
Sorry, sir. Before that one, let me just pass information. No, what we are saying is this: the body that regulates NSE, Nigerian Society of Engineers, is what? Korean. So the body that regulates NCS is CPN. So you can, if of course you are an engineer and you are not satisfied by Korean, what are you? So that's what we're trying to say. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. Let me observe the assisted or the assisting protocol as I greet the chairman of the occasion, the chairman of this chapter, the conferences chairman of Nigerian Computer Society's NEC, the audit chairperson of Nigerian Computer Society that I'm seeing, and of course Mr. Tarabi that I'm also seeing. And of course, I also have to greet everybody, my colleagues that are here, for organizing such a thing and for this audience this afternoon. Kudos to you all. You have heard my name. My name is Iyola Ayola. But before I begin my 1 minute talk given to me, let me ask this particular question, and this question is, how many of us are members of Nigerian Computer Society that are here? Or let me say, how many of us here that are not members of Nigerian Computer Society? If you are not a member of Nigerian Computer Society, can you stick your hands up? If you are not a member of Nigerian Computer Society, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, many of you. If you are not a member of CPN, can you signify by raising up your hand? CPN, if you are not a member of CPN, almost all the same, of the same number. That means we don't know CPN and we don't know Nigeria Computer Society. If you are 90%, you belong, either you are a computer scientist or data scientist or whichever information scientist, and you don't belong to Nigeria Computer Society or the Computer Professional National Council of Nigeria, then you don't belong. Then you are practicing as a quack, and it's as simple as A, B, C. If you are not there, you see, why do we have the society formed? You see, the society is formed because we want to derive the maximum benefit for all of us. When we are talking of sustainable development in of ICT in local government, then we should know that local government is the lowest cadre of governance. Local government, state government, federal government. So if you don't bring the local government sector to the reality, then definitely we are not doing anything. You see, all what we are doing is what the physicists will call P delta V is equal to 0. And when P delta V is equal to 0, no work done because there is no displacement. I think you are with me. Therefore, please, I want to implore each and every one of us that are not members of NCS and the Nigerian Computer Professional National Council of Nigeria, please, I beseech you, let us go and register, because when you are united, we talk as a force. That is when whatever the sustainable development can come to us. This is political era. So if we are not in unity. If we are not together, there's no way we can fight. I want to remind each and every one of us in the 70s, computer is under the accountant. We don't have much to talk. We are under the accountant. We cannot talk. But because of the fact that the computer then, which is known as Koan, fought for this, and eventually we moved gradually from being under the accountancy or the department of accounting to the IT profession. And that is why when I was hearing the talking the other time, says it was in the ministry and the ministry posted them out. That is because we are no more under the accountant general. Right. The same thing is happening now here. That's why I beseech, that's why I commend all of us from local government that are here. What can we do to sustain the development that has already started by a single man here, TJ, which started it all, right? And then we by bringing all the professionals within the local government together like this. But we cannot be together unless we belong to the society, so that we can talk as a force, we can talk as unity. And that is my message to all of us that are here today, that we should all belong. And when we belong, together we will fight, together we will win, and together we will improve, and together we will sustain the development and the development that are starting. Good afternoon.
Thank you, sir. I think Mr. Robert Elijah Adoye wants to have the floor. Go ahead, sir. To Jagaban.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman of Lagos NCS, the chairman of this occasion, the conference chairman from all the way from Abuja, the chairman audit of NCS, fellows here and other members, members of local government IT, all protocol duly observed. I'm very happy to be here this afternoon. From what my ES has said, let me conclude that and to tell you that together we can do a lot. In the civil service, you are on your own. If you rely on leaving only those who are doing society, only TJ and co, that we don't know what they are doing. It's not like that. In the larger society, they will listen to you if you are formidable. What do they mean by sustainable development? Sustainable development means, as a group, you can be relevant. Few weeks ago, we have an expert from Canada discussing the same topic. And what do we realize? As at that time, they are looking for what exactly is the local government IT people are expected to do. And they said in the whole of Africa, they cannot see what they are doing, including Lagos, which they are high. It's as bad as that. What are we to be doing? However, in Lagos, let us thank the current government for giving this local government Ikeja. Lagos chapter of NCS that you see, we are in the forefront of domesticating NIDA. This we've been doing. None of you know how many IT projects is going on. And like Allah said, nobody can say he knows who ate them. But that is your primary domain. The world needs Lagos. Again, the world needs Lagos. What do they need Lagos for? They need our data for planning. They need our data for sustainable planning, for sustainable development. Who are the primary data custodian? They are from local government and our grassroots. So, our chairman, Mr. Akunle Oladipupo, has been running one IT solution all around. They don't even need more than that to gather data. And the Lastra of Lagos, how do we help them to get data? Please. least what do you take home? United as IT worker in Lagos State government, government will listen to you. United, what can you do? The planning department, budget department that need you most will come after you if you can give something. So let us look for solution to give them, and it will be well with all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir.
Well, from my own part, well, I must thank the two last speakers. So the words of our elders are words of wisdom. For me, the action item from here is that I've made that in my submission earlier, and that we need to have a strategic document across the local government council and the local authorities. Strategic document that will translate into actionable plan. What do you want to achieve in the next 2 years or 5 years? And you can begin to measure your progress. If I identify 8 challenges earlier on, so whichever one you feel is the challenge, ranging from infrastructure and connectivity to data management and integration, digital divide and accessibility, financial constraints, cybersecurity and privacy, stakeholder engagement and capacity building, policy and regulatory frameworks, sustainable and scalability. These are the 8 areas that we need to have our strategic document built around. This slide that I put together, I'm going to drop it for the chairman, and that can equally be cascaded down to every member here, so that every year you should be able to measure which area would make progress. If we have made progress in the area of capacity building, or we have made progress in the area of data protection and privacy, or have we made progress in the area of policy as well as regulatory frameworks, or in the area of infrastructure and connectivity. So you can measure and know where you are making the right progress, know where you need to improve on, know what the challenge is, and then also see how you improve on that. For me, in terms of a platform like this, I don't know when we're going to, I don't know the chapter plan as well as your own plan in terms of having this kind of program. As earlier submitted, I advocate that there should be a forum like this that will have all the chairmen of local government and local development authority. It is very, very important that we must use 2 approaches. Top-down approach, top because we are talking of policy and strategy. Bottom up because we are talking of implementation and measuring our KPIs. So I throw that challenge to your association as well as the Nigeria Computer Society, Lagos State chapter, to make that happen. Then lastly is the need for you to integrate with the larger body. Nigeria Computer Society belongs to all of us. This is an advocacy group, and you cannot advocate when you are not part of the family. We cannot champion your cause when you that are supposed to be involved, you are not involved. If you stay back, we stay away. So all of us must come together and see how we make these initiatives better. So you get registered and become part of the family, and you get licensed by the regulatory body, Computer Professional Registration Council. And with that, I see a better digital transformation, digitally transformed local government as well as individuals. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much.
We are trying to wrap up.
So the importance of training and personal development can never be overemphasized. So I just want you to go on with that so that you can provide, so you can be a solution provider. A lot has been said in that area. in your various local governments. Be a change embracer. Create your own personal roadmap that will get you to your destination. And I want to leave you on that note. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, man.
Well, I want to appreciate you for coming, but all we ask is don't sleep here where we have stopped. We have talked about capacity planning and soft skills, not just technical skills. You learn how to navigate. Women know how to do that a lot. Learn from them so that you can get what you want. And when we come back, all of us will have testimonies to share of how we are able to convert all our people to support us. I will be in front. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman.
I won't say my last word, but passive word. What I would just implore us is what we are doing now, because we have about 3 or 4 people that are actually helping us taking things down. So we are after their submission, we now have to harmonize it again, side by side with what Mr. Resto and Madam did. So we will present on your behalf. But another thing again that I want also to do, there's currently as we are here now, if there's an Excel sheet that you are working with now, and your chairman, wherever he is, he can actually be working with the same Excel sheet if you are on data, or if you are online, it's there. But now, what you just have to do for us now, before the other